Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Laney and Ben, where I'm trying to keep you up to date with everything UFO related. Now today we've got a pretty big one, as two UFO videos have surfaced online. The first one comes from the Gulf of Persia, right, where new UFO footage has surfaced. This comes from Jeremy Corbell, and it is the three orby kind of UFOs that have been circulating across the internet recently. We've also got an interview, right, from two videos that have been filmed on an MQ-9 Reaper drone, both again coming from the Gulf of Persia. We've got more insight into that and a lot more, so be sure to drop a like and subscribe. So, in case you've been living under a rock recently, this footage has been doing the rounds online, okay? And it shows what is believed to be three orbs kind of just floating through the sky, and it was captured on an MQ-9 Reaper drone. And at first, people believed that this might have been, you know, something like a single craft, like kind of rotating. But then when you watch the way that the things move, right, it becomes a bit more undeniable. We're going to talk about this first because then there's been some speculation about it. Let's have a look. So as you can see here, we got the orbs over here, bud. Look at that. Right? Looks like one craft at the minute, but then it starts to do this, like you could just see three there. Then it does this little thing, right, where it separates a little bit, and you can start to see the individual crafts, and then it does this little turn, goes in the opposite direction. There you go, you see? And the formation changes up a little bit, which kind of shows that it's not just one craft, it's a bunch of craft, allegedly, moving through the sky. There you go. Clear as day, definitely see three objects there, interchanging, chopping and changing. Undeniably clear that there's three of something here. Now, the internet has taken this and has done what the internet does best. And instantaneously, they've said, yeah, this isn't UFO at all. People believe that this could be some kind of bird. Not like a single bird, but three birds, right, flying together. Apparently, you can see flapping. Now, I've watched this video on repeat. I can't see the flapping, but that's just me. But they've also said that because this is an infrared camera, it would obviously detect heat signatures, which is why it comes up as this kind of orb thing. Now, that's plausible, all right? Three birds flying in a kind of triangular formation. It's very typical of birds, infrared, possibly. You know, there's good accountability for that. But then I watched this interview, right, on NewsNation, and it kind of led me to believe that actually maybe that's not the case, because this interview came from Nick Pope on NewsNation, right, and it was aired on the 5th of February, so a few days ago now. But they talk in depth a bit more about these craft. Take a little listen to what's said here, because this is where things get a little bit interesting.
Both recordings show government-filmed objects that were officially designated as UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, and they weren't meant to be seen by the public. Now, both videos were recorded by MQ-9 Reaper drones, and both show objects making movements that Corbell says defy basic physics. The first video dates back to August of 2012. It's recorded over the Persian Gulf using infrared sensors. It shows three objects moving in what appears to be a triangular formation, and at one point, one of the objects falls back, and it suddenly accelerates forward again, kind of like in a slingshot motion to rejoin the other two. Weird. The second video, more recent, 2021, recorded during a U.S. drone mission over southern Syria. And in this footage, you have a single object that's tracked by a weapons-grade targeting system. Now, it moves steadily at first, then suddenly changes direction, accelerates out of frame at what analysts describe as extreme speed. There's no visible propulsion.
Now, what's worth noting is this video is fairly new. The other one from Jeremy Corbell, right, with the three orbs is a bit different. This one, okay, this one's fairly new in comparison, and this one's obviously a bit more of a how would you describe it? This one's a bit more of a compelling argument.
NewsNation has not independently verified the authenticity of these videos. The Pentagon has not confirmed them or even commented. But what are we actually seeing in these videos? Nick Pope's here, investigated UAPs for the UK Ministry of Defense. Nick, good to see you. These the real deal?
Yes, I think so. Jeremy and George, the journalists concerned, have a proven track record of getting authentic Pentagon footage into the public domain. And when you see these sorts of things just move in a straight line at a constant speed, sure, you can say balloons, birds, but as you said in your intro, the Pentagon itself put this into the UAP category, unidentified anomalous phenomena, and that's what we're looking at.
Okay, let me ask you the million-dollar question. Is this a piece of technology, advanced technology? I mean, we're talking about 2012, we're talking about 2021, or is this something else? Is this from, extraterrestrial?
As much as I'd love to believe that it was extraterrestrial, Occam's razor states that the simplest and most likely explanation is usually the correct one. These were Middle East videos in one of the most crowded areas of sky when it comes to cutting-edge aerospace technology, aircraft, drones. The United States has a lot there because the US is there. China and Russia are probably there spying on them. Iran is there too. So my best estimate has got to be this is our own terrestrial tech.
Well, I mean, they are sensitive military regions, could be of interest if it wasn't human-made. I mean, but that's the question. Have you seen technology like this that it could do something like this? No propulsion?
Well, we can't tell that much just by looking at the videos themselves. Behind the scenes, there's probably more analysis that's been done by intelligence community imagery analysts, and that's probably classified. But, there are things flying out there that will not be public knowledge for 10, 15, 20 years after the event. So there's a lot of spooky stuff flying right now.
And it's I think that was a pun, but I like that. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that it wasn't meant for the public to see? Was it not meant for the public to see because of the sensitive military technology? I mean, Jeremy Corbell says the footage came from intelligence archives. You tell me, is that what we're dealing with, that they were concerned that this could compromise us?
Well, I think Jeremy and George are both very careful that they follow the law in this, as are the people concerned who gave them the videos. That being said, I know a lot of people in the military who see these sorts of things and are aware of them, are very frustrated at what they see as the slow pace of UAP disclosure. And so, Jeremy and George often are a kind of conduit for getting this material out. So let's have a wider debate about it. Let's get Congress looking at it. Let's get other media outlets looking at it. And let's get a kind of brains trust of experts trying to figure out what we're looking at here.
Nick, you are brilliant, and I love having you on, but I will tell you, I still think that this could be something else. That's just my take. I could be 100% wrong. We shall see.
Now, in my honest opinion, okay, looking around, where's the videos where they're side by side? Here it is. So, obviously, this one's the one from 2012. This one's from 2021, right? Now, this one, you can explain away quite easy, all right, with the thought in mind of it potentially being birds or something. Let me mute this quickly. With the thought in mind that this, it could be birds in a formation kind of flocking together. But this one, yeah, I struggle to find a plausible explanation for this video right here, where it kind of pans into frame, it zooms across, and then, it just kind of, here it is. You can see it here, and then it just kind of locks onto it, and then off it goes like a slingshot. It's insane scenes. Here it is. So you can literally watch it move in a direction and then just dart off. We don't have that technology that we're aware of. Now, obviously, Nick Pope says there, he's inclined to believe that this is possibly terrestrial technology over a highly, militarized airspace. Makes sense, right? It does make a lot of sense in that sense. And a lot of people kind of share this sentiment as well, as people over on TikTok that I've seen have also shared very similar arguments, right, with regards to this.
Message released by Jeremy Corbell. We've got to pick this apart a little bit. Jeremy Corbell dropped this UFO footage dating from the 23rd of August 2012, location the Persian Gulf, thermographic imaging, and from an MQ-9 Reaper. He's highly confident, right? So, observing this, there's another piece of footage I want to compare this to. Above what you're seeing above here in a night vision and thermal imaging is birds traveling in a triangular formation, right? Confirmed birds. And what you're seeing here, I think it looks pretty damn similar, okay? So his description, filmed by a platform operating under the direction of the United States Air Force, objects were observed and actively tracked. The UAP appeared to demonstrate abrupt directional changes and intelligent control, absence of traditional propulsion or thermal signatures during performance of, well, they were noted in documentation. So if these were birds, we could say, depending on the distance where this was filmed, okay? So in thermal imaging, birds, if you're trying to highlight a object that is warm versus a darker background, what we're seeing here, they would present themselves as these glowing orbs. Now, the argument could be more so depending how far away this object is, because if this is a lot further away, then these probably could be something else.
I mean, I'm kind of comparing the footage, right, with this being confirmed birds, this being the footage that we've got. This seems a lot further away than this. Now, that might just be, like, depth perspective being well off because maybe, you know, these are a lot smaller and these are a lot larger and these are further away, right? But when you look at the footage side by side, these just seem a bit further off into the distance, like this is a ground footage kind of thing, and then obviously this is coming from a Reaper. It feels like this is a lot closer than this. So this guy's got some plausible interstellar discussions, got some plausible arguments here.
But as of the moment, I'm going to say these kind of look a bit like birds. What do you guys think? Plain as day there. Birds above, triangle formation below. You let me know.
Let me see. Is there any like comments on this? Because I need to know. 50. Right, let's have a look. What do you guys think? Right, so I respect Nap, and I've gotten really bad vibes from Corbell in recent years, so it's just wrapping up his ego and accompanying theatrics. I think it hurts credibility to the subject matter. I don't think birds, but I'm bored of and going to look for the video. Is filmed in FLIR, forward looking infrared radar and images that are white objects that are cold, so don't think they are birds. Interesting. I just can't trust Corbell. Without the missing data you highlighted, it's nearly impossible to say. Would a highly sophisticated platform like that be taken in by thermal reflections of birds? I just don't know. Very interesting argument there. There's a reply. Yeah, only parallel I draw is that the UFO was hit with a Hellfire missile, which was a Reaper. The footage is presented vastly different. Very interesting argument there. Corbell is disinformation. Go look for DJ Brown. I think birds. It's a bit of a mixed bag of responses here, with a lot of people kind of saying that they believe it's birds, with a lot of people saying that they don't believe it's birds, but don't trust Jeremy Corbell. Very interesting argument there. Now, obviously, the information that we've got, okay, has sparked multiple discussions across multiple outlets: NewsNation, New York Post, Daily Mail, Unilad, all across. X is ablaze with this. It's a really interesting video, or couple of videos to take in, especially when you take in Nick Pope's arguments, when you take in... I mean, the second video from 2021, in my opinion, is way more compelling than the 2012 one. I don't know. I do just think that it is just birds in that 2012 one. But I've been wrong before, so I could be wrong on this one. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll spook you later. Peace.